Not the beast! Ah! Open up my eyes! My eyes! Ah! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
One of the most disconcerting things I've noticed in movies as of late is the misuse and outright negligence of the process of color grading. We've all seen movies that look too dark or too saturated, but only recently have movies started to look so flat, gross in texture. This is part of a larger trend in media, the fusing of two domains, that of aggregate entertainment provided on the internet and the more antiquated art of cinema. Before I go any further, I'd like to say that I am not by any means a film purist. I think celluloid is an incredible tool that, when used competently, can create a more visceral experience. It is, after all, the original medium of the industry, so it would be ill-advised to throw it away altogether. On the other hand, I do believe that digital filmmaking is the rightful successor. It is more practical, it's easier to use and manipulate on the go, and it costs far less money, which is a nice leg up for student filmmakers. The main criticism I would offer for the film community is one that I think some of you may share as audience members. We would rather see a polished, well-detailed picture than one that is poorly color graded and loud. As a testament to this, most of the visually rich and colorful films out currently have received stellar reviews. People like spectacle and action set pieces, but there's also a keen interest in visual palette and character, two crucial building blocks that seem to have gone missing in on-demand entertainment. Take, for example, this clip from the new Terminator Dark Fate teaser trailer.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
So besides the questionable CGI for facial rendering, we see a strange lack of color grading and white balance in that entire scene. For those of you who don't know these technical terms, white balance is the process used in camera settings and in post-production to set correct color levels, brightness, and intensity. What I see when I look at that last clip is a very noticeable lack of those processes. If you look at these two frames, you can find most of the visual deficiencies present in other top box office titles. We see a lack of depth displayed by the background, as well as clothing items that are improperly contrasted for color. As a small reminder, I retrieved both of these clips from the same source, which is YouTube, and neither have been color corrected or modified in any way by me. The Dark Fate teaser trailer was pulled directly from Paramount Pictures' YouTube channel, so, evidently they considered this to be audience ready. I also saw the same trailer in a movie theater, and the color scheme had the same problem. Now, as to why a filmmaker or a studio would approve of this visual palette and greenlight it for trailers is beyond me. I personally don't understand it. The images to me look kind of gross and washed out. It's the kind of bright, yucky color scheme that you might expect on a bad television show from the early 2000s or late 90s. It would be a mistake at this point not to mention someone else who did an excellent video on the same topic. Patrick Willems made a video called Why Do Marvel's Movies Look Kind of Ugly in November of 2016, in which he examines color grading and cinematography of the MCU in detail. You should check out his channel, he's really good. Captain America's Civil War specifically looks like muddy concrete, to quote him, with relatively low contrast and low saturation imagery. Like him, the main thesis in my video is not a criticism of digital filmmaking, but rather a necessary chastisement of the production companies who greenlight ugly footage. The problem with modern cinema as it's currently being presented is that much of the visuals depend on the CGI, rather than the proper order in which CGI is used to augment live-action performances. A great example of this is the Planet of the Apes films. It was through a combination of Oscar-worthy acting from Andy Serkis and groundbreaking motion capture technology that these movies became instant classics in my book. Dawn and War specifically serve as prime examples of detailed and immersive CGI. Just looking at this one frame shows the incredible attention to detail on Caesar's fur and his eyes. His pupils dilate and his facial expressions change with beautiful subtlety. Now take a look at a film like Gemini Man with a similar budget and super advanced high frame rate digital rendering. If you compare the two based on special effects, you might think that Gemini Man comes up sorely inadequate. Some scenes look amazing and others in broad daylight look abysmal. The truth is that both films are working with essentially the same technology and the same budget and the same time frame. Where Dawn of the Planet of the Apes succeeds and Gemini Man fails is color and depth. Gemini Man simply looks like stock footage that you would show on a brand new 4K exhibit in Best Buy. Don't get me wrong, Ang Lee and his cinematographer shot everything beautifully, but it's evident to me that more time and effort was put into making the film look commercial and sexy than making a truly immersive cinematic experience. The sad part about ugly films is that a ton of passion and skill still goes into the processes, but because of the decisions made by producers and/or out-of-touch executives, what we receive as a final product is aesthetically more like a music video than a movie. I'm certainly willing to accept constructive criticism from anyone willing to engage in debate on the subject. These are simply my opinions, and they are based on personal knowledge of film study and cinema. I truly love film and the cinematic experience when it is executed properly, but what I don't want to see is a watering down or cheapening of the medium. I like to see movies that look good, not sloppy, poorly color-graded cash grabs. My only request from you as an audience is for you to analyze films more critically based on this knowledge. When you see an ugly film, call it what it is. Don't just accept subpar cinema. Instead, voice your concerns and lay them out for the world to see. That's what I'm trying to do with this video, and hopefully through this endeavor, however minuscule compared to the industry, I can affect a change in audience standards.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"